Morning. Okay, so I'm going to start by saying I hope you guys are having a beautiful morning wherever you are. Okay, hope you guys are getting your morning started by all praises to the Most High. Okay, so about my live yesterday when I was saying some about family. So I'm trying to see where I can start this at. Okay, first I'm gonna start out by saying this because God want me to say this first. So we're gonna talk about me first, and then I'm gonna break it down to you guys so you can have further understanding of where I'm coming from. So we're gonna start off with me first. My wilderness journey, right, was me discovering me and who God always knew that I were and who He always wanted me to be. So when I first started, before I even got to the point of building a relationship with God and knowing who God is, I always knew that I was saved, but I knew that it was still sin attached to me because of my own doing, okay? And what I mean by that is I'm not ashamed of telling my story because this is my story. So, when I first started off as a young age, I started to be rebellious. And what I mean by being rebellious is I started to think that I can do things on my own. And I started to like go down the wrong path as choosing my way of life and my way of being. Hold on, you guys. Mommy, you get the juice. This ginger ale. Okay. Um. So when I was young, I had ran away from home. Um. I felt like I ain't had to listen to nobody, do what nobody told me to do. I felt as though I ain't have to listen. Yeah, basically listen to nobody and do what I wanted to do. And because of that, I was put through so many trials and tribulations. I was following behind my older cousin, okay, as she was a bad influence because if she was a good influence, she would have been trying to like push me towards the right way and the right path. Remind you, she was raised as a Christian. Okay, her side of the family, they went to church because of their grandmother and all this, that, and the third. But even if people go to church and they say they believe in God and they worship God, not necessarily that means that you have the Holy Spirit in you and you stand and walk with God, okay? Anybody can go to church. Anybody can say that they're saved and they're not really saved. You only know that you have the Holy Spirit in you because he will send you through Judgment Day and you were and it's up to you to fight through that judgment, okay? So stay with me, you guys. So once again, I was following behind my cousin, ran away from home, was doing whatever I wanted to do. I started to like fornicate, okay? Far as like doing incestuous things, Lord, okay? Um, Chasing out the dudes that was way older than me, and I was only like, what, 13, 14, didn't know nothing about anything. Like, dating dudes that was way older than me that could damn near be like an uncle, a father, or a brother. Because remind you, back then, kids used to, back then at our age, you know how we can lie about our age and get away with shit, right? So, sheesh. So I was doing that, okay, lying about my age, ran away from home, not going to school, dropped out. Went back into school, still was doing everything I was supposed to do in school, getting all my grades right, passing classes, still smart, still intelligent, still doing what I'm supposed to do. But I chose to be rebellious, right? Because I felt as though I didn't have to listen to nobody and listen to what nobody was telling me. So as life went on, I still was being a rebellious person. So I still was being rebellious, not listening. Then I followed behind this girl that I used to be friends with. And she was like into like soliciting her body, like as in prostitution. So I started doing that. I got into that, not knowing what the fuck I'm supposed to be doing, not knowing that I'm not supposed to be doing it. Right? So I started doing that. Following behind her, doing drugs, doing drugs I'm not supposed to, fornicating once again. Because when I stepped into that lifestyle, I didn't even know nothing about that. Right? But deep down within me, I already knew what soliciting was because my cousin was doing it. Okay. With the neighbor next door when she used to stay with her mom. Long story short. I'm not gonna God's telling me don't say everything, but just get to certain points so people can understand where that we still have sin in us. Okay. So I started doing that. I followed behind this girl, started getting into prostitution, started prostituting and stuff like that. That's why I said, me going through my journey, I'm never ashamed because God is not here to shame you. He's here to give your story and your testimony so other people can relate and understand. Okay. Because all of us has demons in us. All of us is sinners. Okay. Nobody is a saint. Just like God has died for his sins, we all have to die and be born again for our sins. I'm about to tell you. So this is how you know you're saved. So I was doing all that. Then I still was friends with her, even though God was telling me stop being friends with her, stop being around her. I was still hanging around these same people, places, and things that I know I shouldn't have been doing. And so as time progressed, it's like more demons were starting to be attached to me. Okay, so this is how you know that you are sinning, because you are attracting demons in your life. Okay, that's because you have demons within you that you need to be what is it called? What is it called? That needs to be dang, what is it called? Like an exorcism. Like they need to be exorcised out of you. Shit like that. So long story short, we was doing that, and then I had met my child's father. Okay, first, let me try not to skip it. So as in the midst of me doing that, when I started getting into soliciting my body, doing things for money the wrong way when I knew I shouldn't, that's when I had my firstborn son. And I was into a lot of fornicating. I was lying. I was doing so much stuff in a rebellious way that I wasn't supposed to do. It's like God don't want me to get too deep into it. He just want me to go to the stories and just get pieces and break them down. So then I was dealing with this guy, which is my daughter's father, and he was way older than me. He was already in his 30s something. And I was when I had my daughter 2017, I think I was 22, 23. It was around 21, 22, I had my daughter and shit like that. And he was married. He was messing with he was already married and shit like that, but he wanted to be with me, but he couldn't because he was married. So that's when I knew everything in my life was just repeating all over again, y'all. But now it's just God is you see where your patterns are, you see where you just be doing shit and you just don't be paying attention. So listen, y'all. So it go from there, and this was my daughter father. And then even though he was married and he wasn't supposed to be around me, he still was in my daughter's life. He still was around and shit like that. And then he fell off and he stopped coming around or whatever. So when I met my son's father, this is how I knew I was in a whirlwind of sin. Because I met my son's father. And he was going to church too. He was into church and shit like that. But the thing is, he was still sinning too. You get what I'm saying? So this is how you know you saved. So when I was dealing with my son's father, everything was going good. Everything was going good. And then it was God started to reveal me and him to each other. God was showing him I never made two people the same. God never makes two people the same, but he will have similar life stories and similar pathways that is just the same, right? So when everything started happening in my son's father life, my last son, my youngest son father life, that's when everything started going downhill with him, right? So our relationship was good. When it comes to praising and putting on church music, me and him would put it on. We'd cook breakfast. We'd do everything. We would conversate. We'd talk. It was a good relationship between me and him, right? So everything started going bad is because I brought the same female that brought me into things that I wasn't supposed to be doing, that was against God's will. around me and him. Like I introduced him to her and shit like that. So then she's full of demons. Like Shorty is full of demons. She's a straight devil. She's not even a demon no more. Like she's a straight devil. Like you can have demons, but depending on how far deep down you go with your demons, you just a full blown devil. Like you satanic is Luciferian, satanic, and what's the other one? Dang, okay. I can't think of it right now. I know it's Luciferian, satanic, a Satanist, and it's something else. A devil, ain't it? Cause it's three different like levels to being a demon, right? So long story short, she was around us. She introduced him into drugs and stuff like that. But I had always told him about her. Like I was like, when I was with her, we was doing this and doing that, blah, blah, blah. And I was pregnant at the time with my son. And I was still being rebellious because I was still doing things with my son that I wasn't supposed to, as far as like drugs or whatever. So she introduced him into drugs. Long story short, she was jealous of me and him because she knew that me and his relationship was the real deal. She knew that me and him was like really who God wanted us to be. Like whether we were supposed to be married or whatever the case may be, right? So she started like she started to like do sneaky things behind his back and behind my back. So one time she had mixed a drug and gave it to him. So he went in the bathroom and he thought that he was about to die. So I went in there and I'm like, what makes you think I'm going to give you something to kill you? Like, I'm not that crazy. Like, that's one thing I won't do. I will never do nothing to nobody to, like, physically harm them, to kill them. That's one thing I won't do. Because I don't have it in me to be that type of person. That's why I said, like, it's levels to being a demon. That's why I said I had demons in me, but I wasn't a demon. Or I wasn't a devil. You get what I'm saying? I wasn't Luciferian or Satanist. Like, God still had his hand over my life, right? But I had to go through these trials and tribulations to learn who God always wanted me to be. So she had mixed the drug and she gave it to him and he went in the bathroom and he was like panicking. He was like scared for his life. He was like, I know y'all not trying to kill me, da 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 da. And I'm sitting up here in the bathroom with him crying and I'm holding his face and I'm like, why would I try to kill you? Like, I'm not that type of person to try to kill you. Like, so the whole time she texted me, she was like, don't tell him, don't let him know. What I had, she was like, what he doing? Is he okay? I'm like, bitch, what you mean? You the one that gave it to him, trying to kill him. What you talking about? So long story short, right? Shorty must been doing this all her life. Like Shorty must been doing this to people all her life, like trying to like kill people. Cause that's who she is. Like she's a fucking murderer. But anyway, and this a girl that I used to be around. This is the girl I used to hang with. And she always been jealous of me and shit. Like, if you look into my tarot when I was doing tarot, like, she'll pop up in my reading sometimes, or whatever the case may be. She even comments sometimes on my live, and she used to pretend like we was friends and shit like that, but she already knew who she was. You see this? Do y'all see that stuff? Look. Do y'all see what's going on in my background? Like, am I the only one that's seeing that? Okay. Like, just looked at like angel wings just went over my head. So long story short, that incident with my baby father, so me and my baby father started falling out real badly because of her. Okay, because every time I did something, I did confess my sins to him. Like I always, even though me and him was like not at the best of terms at that time, but I always told him what I was doing. Even if it got to the point it was gonna break his heart or hurt him and shit like that. I still told him the truth. But every time when it came to him, he never told me the truth. He never like opened up to me and said that he did this and he did that. It was because she was controlling him. Like she had him under her spell to where those like anything that he did, he couldn't confess his sins. That's how I said this is how you know you're saved. When you can confess your sins, even when you did good or when you did wrong. But when it came to him, he couldn't do it. And I used to always feel like that they was like into shit, doing shit, or whatever the case may be, right? So every time I asked him, he'd be like, nah, or he'd always put his head down, or he'd not want to like be around me. Like he'd try to like separate himself from me because he knew deep down in him that God was like telling him like, you going to confess your sins. Like you're going to sit and tell her what you've been doing. Like what you've been doing to her as well. Like, you cannot sit and just make it seem like it's only her. It's you too. So every time he did something that he knew that wasn't right, he'd always isolate himself from me. Like, he'd go in another room. And I'd be like, damn, so you just gonna be out there and not be in here with me. And at the time, I was pregnant. So it was kind of like fucking with me, because I'm like, damn, if we're meant to be a family under God's image of his eyes, then why aren't you like around me? And it was because of her. She had him under a very dark, deep spell. Let me get some more soda, y'all. Hold on. So as that went on, I'm just all by myself, all alone, crying, trying to figure out, like, oh my gosh, like, am I doing something wrong? Is it me? I kept leaving out, coming back in, because I needed some air. I needed time to myself to walk around. And during the times when I would like leave out and go down to the nearest store by my house where I'm at now, he would start texting me all this crazy shit and be like, yeah, you about to go fuck on a nigga, or you about to do this and you about to do that. And that's when I knew it was her that was having him under these spells to think that way. Because any other time when me and my son father was together, he would always be with me. Like, he'd always go with me. He'd never like let me walk or leave. Like, he was real life a protector of who God always had him to be. Like, he was the protector of his family, as well as like he was the protector of my family. So that's how I knew that she had him under a spell, because every time I would leave out by myself, he would 9 times out of 10, he would usually like be right there with me. He'd be behind me. He'd follow me. He'd be like, I'm not leaving until we all go back in the house together. Like, or he'd be like, I'm not about to let nothing happen to you. You're not about to like be out here. He said, all right. He like, all right, if you out here, I'm going to be out here with you. So he always made sure that I was good. Right? Zoe, what are you doing? So ever since Shorty was around, he stopped doing it. Like, he started to just be like, oh, well, fuck it. And he'd make fun of me, or he'd just start saying wild shit that don't even be true. Mommy. Here. So it got to the point where just things just started getting worse and worse in the relationship and our connection. Because now he started going against God's will too. Because God is like, if I bring you towards... Because, all right, let me put it like this. Stop. You can't do that. Let it go. Okay. This is how he know that he was meant to be in my life or whatever at the time, because every other female he was with, he never had a child with them. But as soon as it become to us being together, he had his first child with me. So that right there shows, like, can tell you that he was meant to be in my life or whatever the case may be. Because any other female he dealt with, he ain't have his first child with him. But he had his first child with me. So that right there was showing him that I was meant to be in his life just as well as he was meant to be in my life. So long story short, we found out that we was having our first child. Boom. And that's when Shorty came around. She wanted to have a child by him. So she was doing magic on me and my baby when I was pregnant. No, I need this paper real quick. Because she was around during the time I was pregnant. So she was putting magic on me and my son when my son was in the womb. That's why I started to like have difficulties with my son at a certain semester in my pregnancy, because my son he came like 2 days late, because he was really supposed to be born on the same day as his father was born, which was June 4th, but he was born on the 16th. So that's how I knew that she was doing magic on me and my son, because my son was supposed to be born between the 4th of June through the 10th, but he came like 6 days later. Long story short, that incident happened. He was still around me. He was still with me and all that because of our son. Even when I had my son and we came home, like, things started going great. Like, things was going good. And then I guess he was still in contact with her. So it just made the relationship worse. Like at that time, he was supposed to have lost contact with her and all that, but he was still in contact with her, still talking to her. Every time I asked him, I'd be like, "Is you talking to her?" This and the third. He'd be like, "No, no, no, I'm not talking to her." Knowing damn well I knew he was talking to her because he had started acting funny towards me. Like he had started like being very mean and malicious and wicked. And I used to be like, what?
Here, look.
Because even through all the shit that we've been through together, I wasn't like that towards him. Like I still was making sure he was good. Like anything he needed, I made sure he was good. Like I never let him like just be out here like that. Only reason why God was like, no, he gotta learn to because it's like God was sending him on his own journey and his own path dealing with her. Right? Because remind you, when I was messing with her and me and her was friends, I was going through my own trials and tribulations by being friends with her. I was going through my own judgment by being friends with her. Right? Everybody's judgment is different. That's why I really don't feel sad for these demonic people that just go around and try to destroy people's lives and literally cause physical harm, because when their judgment come, it's going to be 10 times worse than what God's judgment was on his kids. Like when like sheesh, like y'all
Mommy.
Lord, that's why we just gonna have to just wish them the best. I'm telling you, because their judgment their judgment is like gonna be, they gonna have, it's hell to pay for them. Like when I mean it's literally hell for them to pay, that's what it's gonna be. That's why when God is like right your wrongs towards people, even if you didn't mean no harm to them or you didn't mean it, it's always best to like confess yourself to them, like confess your sins to that person. Because everybody that met me, they didn't know that you was gonna have to like come to me to confess your sins to be saved. I'm telling you, like I always felt like I was one of those people that stood and walked with Christ and walked with God, that anybody that came towards me would have to confess their sins, because I know that I was a righteous person. Because people can do anything to me and I still comfort them. I still open myself up to them. I still be there for them. I still help them out 22/22. So it's like the only way people are going to be saved is actually if they by coming through me. So long story short, first you got to go through God, whatever judgment he have for you, but you still got to come to me to like acknowledge what you have did wrong to me. And it's like once you do that, it was just an orb right here. And once you do that, that's when God will send you through your judgment. And whatever that judgment is that he had for you. So, sheesh. Hold on, y'all.
I'm making my rainbow.
Because you got to be mindful. These entities that live through people that are demons, they're flesh-eating demons.
That's great. I never do that.
Like, they're eating away at your spirit. But I'm going to get into that, okay? I know I'm all over the place, y'all. That's because I got so many downloads coming in. All at once. So, basically, my son's father is going to be suffering until he do right by me. Whatever that is, whatever he has to confess and open his mouth to. You see this orb right here? Like, he has to confess to all the stuff he done did to me, known and unknown. That's the only way he's not going to be in the suffering no more. And then once he do, is that whatever judgment God has for him, he has to go through that. And he have to pass that test. So, we fell off because of her. Boom. And ever since then, everything just started going downhill. Now, let me get into what happened the other day. So the other day, me and my kids was in here just chilling. We was just cooling. My whole day was going good. I was getting downloads from the Holy Spirit. I was talking to God. I was listening to pray. I just got finished worshiping, praying, crying, and cleansing. So, there's a knock at my door. I'm like, okay. She had my niece at the door, and she was hiding behind the wall. I'm like, what type of funny shit this is? So, at first, I didn't want to open the door. And something, like, at the last minute, you know how at the last minute when shit started to happen, you like, man, I should have never opened my motherfucking door. You should have just kept your door closed. You should have just pretend like you wasn't home. Because I did that before a couple of times. Pretend like I wasn't home. Okay? Uh, so she came in. So everything was starting to go good. So she was like, I'm about to leave. First she had rolled the J. And she was like, you gonna smoke the J? I'm like, nah, I don't smoke no more. Like, I don't do that stuff no more. Like, when I really said that I have cleansed myself from all that, from smoking and drinking, I really don't do that no more. Like, none so ever at all. Okay? That's how I said, like, I been knew that I was saved, but I still had, like, judgment to go through as well. Because everybody is under judgment. That's why I said nobody is safe. You will know that you saved until you pass your judgment. You got to really pass your judgment. Whatever that is, I'm telling you, whatever that is that God has for you. Because God is real. And God, like, is, like, the truth. So, long story short, she was in here, she rolled the J. So, she came in here, she was smoking the J around me. She was still trying to pass it to me. She was like, hey, you don't want it? You don't want it? And remind you, this is my sister, y'all. This is my second to the oldest sister. She was like, hey, you don't want it? I'm like, nah, I told you, I don't do that no more. So that's a part of sacrificing too. Like, it's a sin offering. Okay, when you said that you have given up on these things and somebody is still peer pressuring you into sin, that's how you know you're sinning. Because you're sinning against God's will. You're not doing what God asked you to do. If God is telling you to stop doing these things, that's what he asked you to do. But if you continue to keep doing it or allowing these people into your space, you're going to go through judgment. And depending on how many times you keep allowing these people, places, and things into your energy after he trying to help you cleanse yourself, your judgment is going to be 10 times worse as their judgment. You get what I'm saying? So nobody is safe at this point. The only reason why I opened my door because she was like, yeah, we don't have no way to take a shower. They turned our water off, blah, 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 blah. So knowing me, because I am a child of God, I still help with people. Like, I still help people that are in need. Because when you're a child of God, you don't care what it is. You still help because you have that spirit in you to help. Right? But sometimes I'm learning now, I don't give a fuck what people need help for. If they can't get the help from God, they don't need it. I'm telling you, I'm getting into that energy. Like, because God is very strict. God is not like what they teaching us now to be forgiven and stuff like that. Like, when
Mommy.
if you was into like the church back in the day, you could tell God was very strict. Like, he will forgive you, but that don't mean that he's going to ease, like, how can I say this? He's not going to leave up that slack. If you did something wrong, oh, you got to pay for that. You got to pay for that. Like, you're not about to easily get up off of that. Because the God that they teaching us now is like, God is a forgiving God. He saves and loves those who are in need. No. If you did something to get in that situation or that predicament, you got to pay for that. You got to get your own self out of it. Nobody is going to help you. You got to help yourself. So let me finish it. So she was trying to peer pressure me to hit the J. I said, no, I don't want it. So as the time went on here, she had left. She came back. So soon as I'm like laying down, getting into the energy of like about to rest and the kids was going to sleep, I started feeling these pains in my back. And I'm like, Mo, what the hell? I'm like, somebody pulling on my energy. Like, somebody doing something. Then it got to the point where it started feeling like my ribs was starting to feel like they was like being crushed. Like, some of you might not even experience this before, like broken ribs. That's what it felt like. It felt like my ribs was breaking. Like my ribs was being crushed. Like somebody was taking a voodoo doll and was crushing my ribs in. Like real life crushing my ribs in. Okay? And the whole time I'm like, Mo, what the fuck? Like, I felt it the whole time, but I didn't start to say nothing until the pain started getting unbearable. So she got up, she went in the bathroom, she did whatever she did in the bathroom, and she came back out. She was like, you don't want me to turn this light out or this, that, and the third? And I'm like, nah, you can leave it on because the kids. Because I already didn't trust her anyway. Like, when she was in here, because it was already acting like funny. I'm like, all of a sudden, you come around. Like, what you come over here for? Like, we didn't talk. We don't talk like that. But you just pop up. Because people know, don't pop up at my house unannounced. You gotta let yourself be known. Or unless God told you to pop up at my house. I know damn well God ain't sent you, the damn devil sent you. Because soon as you get into my space and get into my domain, now all this shit started to happen with me. I started to feel like I was dying in this motherfucker, y'all. Like it felt like somebody was crushing my ribs in. Good thing I can still breathe. Like I still feel the pain a little bit still to this day. Like, good thing I can breathe. So I'm like, Mo, what the fuck? I was like, Mo, what is going on? Every time I turned around, try to lay down, comfortably go to sleep, it's like the pain got more unbearable. Every time I try to lay a different way, the pain got more unbearable. So I'm like, oh nah. I got up, I said, you got a ride? You think you can find somebody that can come and get you so y'all can go? Like, y'all gotta leave. I said, because I might gotta go to the hospital. So I already knew she had a part in trying to like kill me because she wanted where I lived at. Because for one, her and my mother used to stay getting into it. Like she always been the type of person that disrespected my mother. She always was the type that like did stuff towards my mother. Cause you know God say honor your mother and father and your days will be a lot longer. I always respected my mother, even though me and my mother used to fight, argue, and get into it. Like I still loved my mother. But then again, it was like I gotta be mindful too because your mom could be a part of shit too, right? So that's why I'm like now to the point where if God ain't say you ain't a part of His kingdom and you're not one of His children, I don't even want you around me. Like I'm gonna get confirmation from the Most High first, cause I don't want nobody to come towards me and they got demons, because I don't have demons. You feel me? Like, no. You're not about to use me to exercise your demons through me. Just so you can get rid of me. Because that's what she was doing. Like, she had all her stuff and all that. I'm like, she really thought that she was about to be living in my shit. Like, what? Because like, my siblings, they always been jealous of me. They always wanted something that I had, or always wanted something that was going on with me. That's why when I said, when they be saying blood that's thicker than water, that's a lie. That's a fucking lie. Let me see. Like, that's a lie. Like, people think that your family is your family. No, they're not. Just because you was raised into that family don't mean that you're your family. Because not everybody walks with God. Not everybody is a child of God. Okay? Like, I want people to know that and understand it. Like, that is true. Not everybody is your brother and not everybody is your sister. Not everybody is your mother and not everybody is your father. Like, some of these people have sins that goes way beyond years before you was even thought of to be born. Grand rising, beautiful. So when they say blood thicker than water, please don't believe that. Please don't. Don't fall for that. Do not fall for that. Because now you taking on sins that's not even yours. Now you taking on judgment that's not even yours. And God done saved you. God done already brought you to the other side. So as though you know that you are a believer. Because these people are non-believers that we think that's our family and our friends. They don't believe in God. They don't even know who God is. They don't even have a relationship with God. Because they afraid to worship and talk about God the way that we talk about God and worship God. That's how you can tell who is really a brother or a sister to you in Christ. Okay, so let me keep going, y'all. So it felt like my ribs was being crushed in and they was being caved in. And I'm like, what in the world? So I was like, you gotta leave. So she was taking her time. She was procrastinating to leave. And the more that she was there, I'm telling y'all, the more that she was taking her time, it's like the stronger the pain got. So the first thing I started to do when she had left was I laid down and I turned on healing prayers in my phone. And I was listening to it all night. And every time I go to sleep, I knew that it was heavy witchcraft being done on me. Because when I closed my eyes, I was sweating. Like, I was sweating, y'all. Like, I was sweating out whatever she had put over me. And when I was getting in the shower and I was cleansing myself through water and I was healing, because God was just like, get up, let the shower run, and sit in the tub and let the water hit you. Because, you know, water is healing. Okay? Water heals you. Water heals the land. Water heals all that. So I'm sitting in the tub, and the whole time I just kept going like this, nodding off in the tub. Like just nodding off in the tub, and God just like, stay with me. I'm healing you just as well as you so God was telling me, he like, stay with me. I'm healing you. Don't give up. Because y'all, I really wanted to give up, y'all, because I was in here on the floor crying. I was in here on the floor. I was crying. I kept getting up on my bed. I couldn't even cry, y'all. That's how bad it was. Because God was just showing me that I could fight through this. So the whole time, I realized I just wanted to go out. I just wanted to say, God, just take me. Just take me. Okay, I don't want to fight no more. Like, I realized, I was like, I don't want to fight no more. Just take me. And God just kept lifting me up. He like, no, I'm healing you. I want you to pay attention to how I'm about to heal you. I'm about to cry now, y'all, because this is so serious, y'all. I was rolling on the floor in here by myself, just my kids. And my kids was rubbing on my back. They like, Mommy, you okay? I was throwing up. I was doing so much, y'all. Like, I was in here feeling like I was about to die. And I'm like, God, if I die, please, like, just make sure somebody can, like, really take care of my kids the way that I take care of my kids. Because not everybody takes care of, not everybody loves kids. And not everybody going to do what you do for your kids. And I think that's why God was like, I'm not ready for you. I think that's why God was like, I'm not ready for you. You got so much to do. And your kids need you. Y'all, I was in here on the floor, rolling around. I was like, God, just take me. If it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go. I ain't know what to do, y'all. Like, I just kept getting in and out of the tub. I was in the water. He was like, I'm going to heal you. He was like, just stay strong. I want you to fight. I'm going to heal you. He was like, this is not your judgment. This was your sister's judgment. And she came and brung it onto me because she was supposed to go through her judgment from all the things that she done did years and years and years ago. And God was like, this is not for you. But because you opened your doors up to it, I have to allow you to go through this judgment. So I'm sitting in here, I'm in the tub, and I'm just like, I just want to go. Just take me. He like, no, I'm not taking you. I didn't get you to this point to be this strong to take you now. Like, you going to be a testimony for other people that's experiencing this, that had went through this with family or friends. So the whole time I'm in the tub, y'all, I just kept wanting to fall out. I was just like, just take me now. Even if I got to drown in this water, I will drown in this water. He like, no, you not. Like, every time I kept hearing it, because I kept the healing prayers on my phone while I was in the tub. And I'm glad that I kept it on, y'all, because if I would have turned it off, I probably would have just drowned myself in here. Like, I really would have, because I wouldn't know what to do. But because I had kept the prayer music on, is how I kept hearing God's voice. And he was just like, don't give up. What I'm doing in your life right now is going to be a testimony to let everybody know that I am real and I can heal. You will only get healing through me. When I mean my ribs felt like they was like this, like somebody was like squeezing it, and then it felt like I was on fire. Like my ribs was to the point where when I went like this, y'all, excuse me, hold on. When I went like this, it felt like my ribs was closed in like this. This how much it felt. This is how the pain felt. It felt like this, y'all. You know how when they be wearing on waist trainers, but you could tighten it up to a certain point. It was like this. My ribs was like this. My ribs was going in. Like now they're starting to feel how they supposed to. Because you know your ribs not supposed to be as close like that. Like everybody's supposed to have like a gap between your rib cage into your stomach. Because this is like your, I forgot what it's called. See if I was a damn doctor.
Mommy.
Yeah, see? That's why you gotta be careful. Like when you open the doors up to people. Because they will try to use you as like a safety blanket or a safety haven. And God is only trying to protect you and who you have already in your life that saved themselves. I'm starting to learn that too. That's why I'm like, God is a strict God. God is not what everybody keeps saying. Like, yeah, he forgives you, but you still got to go through your judgment. Like, you still got to go through your judgment, y'all. Like, I didn't know what to do. When I was on the floor crying, rolling around, I was like, God, please help me. I need your help. God, I was like, God, I apologize for letting this person in. when I know I should have never opened my doors up to them. I knew I shouldn't have let them into the temple of Christ. I know this like you're protecting me and my kids. You're not protecting them. I don't know why I opened the door. Like when I was crying and confessing, I was like, God, I shouldn't have opened the door. I was like, I shouldn't have opened the door. I shouldn't have opened the door. God, please take it away. I was like, please take the pain away. Please, I can't take it no more. And then I got on the floor. I was like, please, just take me. If it's time for me to go, it's time for me to go. I was in here like, nobody wouldn't have known what was going on but me and God. That's why I knew God was placed over me for a reason. Because he like, no, I'm going to make you strong after this. You're going to be strong after this. Like, this wasn't meant to take you out. This was to make you stronger. And you know how sometimes you be like, all right, God, I don't want to be strong no more. You know how you just be like, why do I have to be the strong one? Why do I have, like, and then sometimes we can't question God because everything happens for a reason. On why he wants us to be strong and why he sent us through things that people run away from to bring to us. Because these people know that we're strong. So because they know that we're strong, they come and bring their baggage onto us. And now we're suffering because of them. That's why when cause she tried to like peer pressure me into doing sin that I wasn't into no more. I'm like, nah, I'm not into that. Like, I don't smoke no more. And I don't drink. Like, if you smoke, you smoke. And that's another reason why I was placed under judgment too, because it's like, I didn't cleanse my whole house from all that. Like, no ashtrays, none of that. I might still got my weed trays in here, but that's nothing. I don't even use them. But I threw away everything, like the ashtrays, all that. Like,
What?
That's how I feel. Like, I feel much better. Like, ever since I like cleared, canceled, and deleted a lot of people out of my life that's still into sin, because I don't want to have to deal with that. That's why I say, you know if you saved or not. Some people can sit and say that they saved and they still sinning, and they don't even know. Like, I don't care how many times you watch tarot or how many times you watch different readers or you watch people praise God and stuff like that. And if you still could pick up a cigarette, or you still could pick up a J, and you still could pick up a bottle of liquor or a beer can, you not saved. You got to realize, give your whole well-being over to Christ, like your whole temple to him. You got to not fornicate. You cannot have sex. You can't do none of that. Like, you have to give yourself over to God first. That's your first husband. You got to marry God first. That's why when they say kingdom spouse, yes, God is your first kingdom spouse. Until he brings you someone that's godly in the image of him into your life. If these people are not walking in the image of God, they don't need to be in your life. They don't even need to be around you, period. That's why when I say certain things like out loud, because I get real angry and frustrated, like, I know he's still working with me with my anger, but I don't have anger towards people that is in the image of God. I have anger towards these demonic, devilish ass people that swear that they can get away with anything, not knowing that God sees all of that. You got hell to pay for the shit that you do to God's children. Like, you just don't think you're gonna be doing stuff and not have to pay for that. You gotta pay for that. Like, everybody got a price to pay for their sins. And I think I just seen 333. And I think that's why I had to go through that, because of my sins that I had to pay for as well. But the thing is, I fought through it. I was strong enough to go through mine. Some of these people, when God placed judgment on them, some of these people not gonna make it. It's gonna kill them. It's really gonna kill them, because they're not gonna know what to do when the time comes. Cause that's why I always said, like, everybody is under judgment. Nobody is safe, because nobody puts God first. Put God first anymore. It's like, once the churches and all that closed down due to the pandemic, nobody thinks about God. Nobody wake up and praise God or say thank you, Father God. Nobody does that. Everybody is waking up, going to the liquor store. Everybody waking up looking for the weed man. Everybody waking up looking for some pussy or looking for some ding-a-ling. Like, ain't nobody doing what you supposed to do when you first wake up, which is praise. Praise and worship him. Everybody is looking for the wrong things. That's why I was like, nah, if 44, if God ain't tell me nothing about you, I don't even want you to come around me. Don't come around me. That's why I stopped doing tarot. Cause that's not God. That's not God anyway. That's the devil. Because if you look at it and pay attention to it, every time you watch it, it's always negativity. It's always something negative. This person saying they gonna do this. This person gonna say that. It's all lies. It's all lies. These people don't want to change because they're afraid to meet God because they know that the judgment that they have on their life to be saved is going to kill a lot of people. It's going to kill. But you, it's like, that's why I said, just as well as God died for his sins, you got to die for your sins. But you lucky you resurrect.
Pick it up.
You lucky that you resurrect and make it to be able to tell your story. Stop, Zozo. Hold on, boo. I got to read your comment. Yep. Because we're sent down here to help save those who are in need of saving. But not everybody wants to be saved. They love to live in sin. They love to fornicate, do whatever they need to do. That's on you. That's what you choose to do. And if you look at it, everybody that believes in God, we're going through financial problems. Okay? Some of us are losing our homes. Some of us don't have finances. A lot of people living out their car. A lot of people living outside. They don't know what to do.
Just go away.
That's why it's like you be lucky to still be where you're at when it comes to God. Like some people trying to figure out like how you still being sheltered. It's because the grace of God. That's how. You're not doing nothing in a very. Let me put my Bluetooth on. Hold on. Understand? Like some of these people, they're doing dirty deeds to have a place to live. It's like they sending family towards other families to take them out. They're sending friends towards friends to take them out just to get this form of benefit or just to get some form of money or whatever the case may be. And it's like, if God really has you in his will, you will know. Because he's going to protect all that. He's going to protect your business. He's going to protect your money. He's going to protect your family. And he's going to protect you. Because if I was meant to be taken out by now, I would have been taken out already. But I'm not. That's why I said when judgment come on these people, they just be doing evil, wicked, malicious shit to people. They already know where they're going because they know they're not going to make it. They know they're not going to make it. That's why they rather stay in sin. And it's like even if you stay in sin, you still got to pay for your sin. You still got to pay for it. Just by me choosing to cleanse myself from my sins, I knew at least I chose to do it early on, so my judgment can already come, and I ain't got to worry about it 10 years down the line when I get older, and now I'm old, laid up in the hospital somewhere. No, I got my shit down packed at 27. Only thing he's working on me with is the cussing, like my language, and I know he's working with me on that. Stop. I know that's what he's working on me with when it comes to me cussing. Okay, but as far as anything else, it's like no. Like, and then he was telling me when I was in the shower, I was like, he was telling me she was a flesh eating demon. That's why I feel like my ribs was caving in. That's why I feel like my ribs, like somebody was like crushing in on my ribs. And then it was like yesterday, I couldn't eat nothing. So the last time well, let me put it like this because I'm moving too fast, y'all. Please stay with me. Because I got so much to say, and I know a lot of people not gonna relate because they're gonna be like, "What? I've never even like experienced that." Yeah, because you're still living in sin. As I said, you won't know what being saved feel like until you completely cleanse your sins. Like that's what that is. Because I had my ex, he was like talking about something, you throwing up demons. You can. You can throw up demons. Man, yes, you can. It's called an exorcism. It's called being exorcised. Do y'all be watching these people when they go through exorcisms and stuff like that? Sometimes some people they throw up them demons, and sometimes they pass out and the demons go away. But mine, Like they do know where they going. That's why I said I gotta work on like me using curse words, like my language. That's it. Like when it comes to talking, but it's because I get so excited and I get so passionate about talking about things. So it's just like it just comes out of me. So I'm telling you, I think I get mine from my father too. Cause my mom, I don't really think she cursed as much. I don't really think she cursed as much. Like I think she only cursed when she got like really upset. And I think that's how I probably be too. Yeah, because he was trying to tell me, he was like, you ain't, so you pregnant. You ain't throw up no demons. Like, what? Okay, so let me put it like this. The last time I had got up after he had like really restored me and the pain started going away, uh, this last time I just started jumping up. Like, I just started jumping up, running back and forth, praising him. Like, I couldn't talk. Remind you, I was in here silent. Like, I couldn't talk. I couldn't say nothing. That's how much the pain was. And that last time, I went to I went in the bathroom. And when I mean, I remind you, y'all, when I was throwing up the first couple of times, it was all the food that I ate. And you know how when you get to the last little bit of your stomach, you starting to throw up the lining of your stomach, and it's just yellow. This time, man, I'm telling you. Remind you, I didn't want to drink nothing. I didn't want to eat nothing because remind you, I was already throwing it up. This last time after I did this one last worship and I started jumping up and down, running around and praising my arms up. When I went to the bathroom, this time it was green. When I threw up, it was green and it had like black stuff in it. And I was like, oh, did I just throw up a demon? Like she just real life tried to attach a demon to me. Like this demon was stubborn, y'all. It was because when I was praising, when I was doing like the healing prayers and I was laying in the bed and I kept praising him, and I was like, God, you are my healer, you are my restorer. Like I decree and decree, like I was just kept saying that. I declare and decree healing over me, over my body. I kept saying that, kept saying that. It's like the demon just kept getting tighter and tighter. It was like, we gonna get you. It was like, we gonna get you. Like they was sucking the fruit from me. Cause you know we are the fruit that we bear. So demons like that. Like they want to get you are the fruit that you bear. So if you are very fruitful, that demon is trying to suck from you. Cause you know, just think of it as like when Jesus was sitting at the table with the 12 disciples and they was all getting ready to feast. That's what he told me. That's what he was reminding me of. When he was sitting at the table and he was like, I make a table in front of your enemies, or I sit a table in front of your enemies. That's how I felt, y'all. Like I'm so serious. When I after I had threw up and I woke up, the next day I was sleeping. Like all yesterday, I was sleeping for the whole day. I was in recovery. That's why I didn't make no videos. That's why I didn't get live until early that morning. And all I kept thinking about was fruit. I was like, I need to get some fruit. Like I need an orange or a banana. And I had got ginger ale and some water. And they gave me like little fruit cups at the nearest store. But I needed like fruit because I'm always eating fruits. Like I love fruits because you are the fruit that you bear. And these demons, in order to survive, they need replenishment. They need nourishment because they are already being sucked and drained by the demons that they already have attached to them. So if they look at you and be like, "Oh, this is a nice fresh fruit. We can eat this fruit all day." That's what they was doing. This flesh eating demon was sucking me dry, y'all. Sucking me dry. I was throwing up all fucking day yesterday, and the last throw up I had was green and black. I was like, this heifer done put a demon on me. Like, look it up. Just look up different pastors and preachers that exorcise demons out of people. Some people you throw up demons. Like, look at they show you this on TV, the exorcism. Why you think she did all that when she was throwing up? She was having an exorcism. They exorcised all them demons out of her. And she was like, throwing up. That shit is real. Oh, excuse me. Sorry, Father God. I'm trying to work on it. I'm working on it. That stuff is real. That stuff is real. That's why I say you'll be surprised. All these demonic, devilish people that get an exorcism, they're not going to make it because they've been believing in their own sins for too long, living in their own sins for too long. So just imagine. And I think that was another way God was showing me my gifts, like how to exercise demons out of people. Because if I could exercise demons out of me, He was showing me that was another gift that I had to exercise demons out of people. Because I'm a shaman. You get what I'm saying? I'm a true shaman. That's why I started off with tarot first to know who I am. But that wasn't meant for me to stay in tarot. Because He was showing me other ways to use my gifts. It's just he put me into tarot. Like God showed me tarot first to be able to open myself and awaken myself to psychic ability so that way I can connect to Him a little bit closer. And then once I started going into my prophetic writing because I could just get a pen and paper and start writing, and God would just tell me everything. And then I started to read it. I would recite it. And I said, I got multiple gifts. It's just He's showing me in different ways how to do it. So I can just imagine when I do start my ministry and open up a church, I'm gonna be exercising demons out of people. And some people, they're not gonna make it. It's just the truth. It's the God's honest truth. Because some of these people, they got so many sins that's living in them, so many demons living in them. And if I was to exercise the demons out of them, just imagine. Some people gonna pass out and never wake up. Unless like, man, I can only imagine. Like He's showing me images. He's giving me like visions of what to do. Then see what the way He helped me heal was he just told me to sit in water. He was just like sit in water because sometimes we don't need salt water and all that. You just sit in water because water heal you anyway. Just look at it how when it first started. If you go back into like time when he like the first Bible that was created and written, I forgot what it's called. It'll really just show you like water is your nourishment. Water restores you. Like water cleanses you. Water purifies you. So I was just sitting in the water. I'm telling you, when I sat in the water, I ain't used no sea salt, no Himalayan salt, no nothing. I just let the water hit my body. And my ribs started to feel a lot better. He was just like, just sit in the water. He's like, I'm telling you and showing you how to heal you, how to cleanse you. You just need water. That's why when some people, when they fast, that's another way to cleanse your body and detox your body, just water. Because if you look at it, when he walked through them deserts to help free and save all those lost souls, what he had, all he had was water. Walking through them deserts, walking through them fields, cleansing and saving people. All he had was water. And he placed his hand over them. He said what he said, and just cleansed them. And then he purified them with water. He ain't never say he used salt water or anything like that. That's why I be thinking like sometimes they be just reversing that stuff. They just be making it to where they just be adding their own pizzazz to it. Because if you go back to the first few scriptures of the Bible, it was basically him saving souls, walking through the desert and just placing his hand over them and praying over them. And then like they'll drop. And then once they got to the point where they're saved, he had just purified them with water. Because all you really need is water. Because even when I did I had did my sea salt bath yesterday too. It worked a little bit, but it was not really working as much. Like it wasn't working as much to me. I think I don't know. It's something with it. I think sometimes when we be learning stuff or people be teaching us stuff, I don't be thinking that's really the truth until we actually go through the experiences with God on our own. Because God is the only one that can tell us what to heal us. I'm telling you, I sat in that tub, y'all. I sat in that tub, let the shower run on me. I kept going like this. I'm just like, I want to just go. Just take me, God. Just take me. He like, no. Like that's how he was. He was like, no. You gonna see how I'm about to heal you. You gonna get this healing like this. Just let the water hit you. Just sit in the water. I'm like, no, I want to go. Like I just couldn't take the pain, y'all. I'm like, no, I just want to go. Just take me now. Just take me there. He like, no. Listen to my voice, child. Like, cause we could be stubborn too sometimes. Like when we be, cause he know that We could be stubborn. He know that. Like he know who we are and all that because he created us in his image, right? So I'm just like, no, kept going like this. No, no, go duh. Like, you know how you just feel like you just want to lay there and die. I'm gonna just lay here and die. He like lay here and die. You ain't going nowhere. He like you not going nowhere, man. Where you think you going? He like I ain't take you this far for you to go out on me now. He's like nah. He's like you ain't get this far in your ministry to go out now. He's like I got more work for you to do. Like you got more stuff to do to tell your people that I am real. Like he healed and restored me, y'all. Like he was just like sit your butt in that water, sit in that water. And then it was like the last puke I had was yesterday because I've been in recovery all yesterday. I just been sleeping all day. Hmm. Like I probably watch it, but it's not like I'm giving all my attention to it. Like when I watch Terrell, I don't give all my attention to it no more. Like I watch it, but I won't give all my energy to it. That's why I started to like do things differently now. Like I put on worship music, or I just watch different stuff, just talking about God, because that's like the devil right there. It is. That's why I think I was led to it at first, just to get a clear indication of who God was in my life and what He had for me. Now it's like I still got Him right here around me, and you know how you got that urgency and be like, it's like it's calling you, but I just be like, nah, you can have it. Like, nah, you can have it. Like, just go ahead. Like, whatever message is God want me to say and speak, I just say it out loud. Like, you don't need the confidence. Because anything that He wants you to know, He'll tell you to write it out, or He'll tell you in a dream, or He will send another one of His disciples to you to channel the messages out. That's why it's just like I don't even be worried about terror no more. Like, nope. I'm telling you, like judgment, when you whoo, baby. Sometimes we be put under judgment for other people. That's why I said first and foremost, before these people come to you, you better make sure that they went through their judgment first. Because if they try to come towards you, like she said, like my good girlfriend right here, Taurus Goddess 555, like she said, you will be suffering for other people's sins. I ain't got time for it. You will suffer on your own. If God ain't say you ain't been saved, I don't want to hear it. Hmm? Okay, hold on, boo. I'm about to get up and cook breakfast. I'm telling you, if God said you ain't been saved, boo boo, I don't want to hear it. That's why I like her. I'm listening to her. Because she just said in the comments everything she went through. She know. She know. Because that stuff is real. Because it's like some people, they've been doing stuff for so long since childhood. Because that's where it started. It started from childhood. And then if you don't get it, if you don't correct it at a certain age, it could start going to sickness and illness. Like that's why some of these old people, like when they've been sinning for so long, they automatically start getting sick. Like they be starting to have cancer or kidney failure and lung cancer and brain damage and stuff like that. That's because when God was trying to get them to change their ways, they didn't want to do it. Because everybody not like some people think that it's hard to just change your ways. No, it's not. You will be lucky to change your ways and the way you are than sit up here and die for your sins. That's what I said. Like, yeah, God did die for our sins, but you gotta die for your sins too. Like you just don't magically wake up one day at 35 years old and got lung cancer. No, that was already growing in you. Those was things that was already in you from you smoking cigarettes 90 going north every day, or smoking weed every day, or drinking every day. I kept feeling like I was having inflammatory liver, like flam, flam, what- flam, flam, blah, blah, blah. Can't get it out, y'all. It felt like I was having flamitation or something like that towards my liver. That's why most people they rather stay in sin because they already know if they was to cleanse themselves and turn to their God like body and be in the image of God, they already know that their sickness and their illness that they're gonna have to fight off is gonna be deadly. I'm telling you. I'm telling you. I'm telling you, y'all. Y'all don't understand. That's why I'm glad I got it together now. Because I don't want to be 35 and 40 years old and so happily have lung cancer or brain damage or kidney failure or liver disease. I don't want to experience that. I don't know. I don't want to go through that. I don't want to die because of that. No. Heck no. I don't want to die because of that. Okay? I want to be able to leave as long as God want me to leave. That's why I'm actually good, like proud of myself to stop everything that I was doing for smoking and drinking. Because it gotta catch up to you one way or another. That's what I say. If you make more time for your sickness and illness, you ain't gonna have time to redeem yourself through your wellness. Because some people it's gonna take you out. I hate to break it to you. I'm just saying. Okay. That's why it's like when he say cleanse your body, cleanse yourself, purify. That's what he means. Don't sit and say you're gonna do it tomorrow, do it the next day, do it next week, next month. No, do it now while you're at a young age because it catches up to you in your elderly days. These elderly people don't just be getting sick for no reason. It's because of all the things that they did during their younger years. When God been telling you, stop doing this, stop doing that, stop doing this, stop doing that. Especially for these people that think that they need to like have sex all the time. Like no, and then you wonder why you got HIV and AIDS or why you got an STD you can't get rid of. Because you just out here fornicating with any and everybody. Don't know what these people have been doing all their life. Now their sins onto you. And you wonder why you got all these entities in your home. And you wonder why your kids is gyrating all around the house and moving their body a certain type of way. Yeah, because that's the same man or the same woman you lay up with. It's attaching to your kids. The same lustful demon is on your kids. That's why we got to be careful who we let into our home and lay in our bed. Because that same energy that's on that person gonna get on your kids. And you wonder why your kids is moving certain type of ways and acting this type of way and being all fast and being all grown. It's because you let that entity into your home. That's why I said if God ain't say, oh no, baby, you gonna be on your own over there. Stay over there. Until you get it together. You'll get it together. Cause hold on, boo. Cause I don't need that. And I don't want it. Like you don't know what these people be doing when they're not around you. And then they want to come and lay in your bed. Oh hell no. That's why they say you make your bed, you lay in it. I don't like hell, heck no. I don't know how many sex demons you got onto you. Like, cause ain't nobody gonna be no pedophile, no pervert for no reason. Like that's just a bunch of lies. You a pedophile, you a pervert because of all them sex demons you had attached to you. You're not looking at no little girl or no little boy like that for no reason. Like it just don't make sense. And most people don't understand that. They think, oh, because they're attracted to little girls, attracted to little boys. No, you that way because of all them demons you've been playing with all your life. All your life. Letting all these women in and out of your home, all these men in and out of your home. And now you looking at little girls this way, or you looking at little boys this way. Nah, that's because you let them things into your home. You let that stuff into your environment. Like I said, don't bring that mess over here. Cause I'm gonna rebuke you so quick. Or I'm gonna send your ass right back down to the pits of hell where you belong. Like we not doing that. You're not bringing that over here into my heaven. I just cannot. Well, you okay? Your daughter over here. Trivium. And then it's like you start to see how happier your kids are. Like how happier they are, how more playful they are. All that. That's why it's like we gotta be mindful with our kids, watch on TV too, the music we listen to. Also, we gotta be mindful of the other kids that we have around our kids because them kids come with demons as well because of their parents. And now your kids acting like this, that, and the third because like, no. As I said, God opened my eyes to see a lot. Like, that's why I'm so glad that I be obedient and I pay attention because baby, I don't know where I'd be at if I didn't listen. I probably would be suffering just like everybody else. I'm telling you, I probably would be suffering. I don't like to suffer. Like who would want to suffer? Like no. I don't want to be miserable. I don't like being miserable. I like waking up being happy, making people laugh, making people have a good day. I like to give positivity. Where's your bottoms at? Where's your bottoms at? Where at? I like to share positive energy. Mm-mm. So everybody, I just wanted to say, you will know you've been saved if you pass your own judgment. Whatever that is God has for you. Because everybody's judgment is different. Some people they get it harder than others, and some people it don't be as hard as you think. It's just to regain your strength and to build your strength. But some people judgment, oh, it's gonna real life bring you to your knees. He gonna make sure he bring you to your knees. And now you and I was thinking when I was experiencing that the other day, I was like, "Are you bringing me to my knees, God? What did I do to ever be brought to my knees?" He like, "No, I'm building your strength. It's a difference. God redeems your strength, and sometimes God will bring you to your knees. You ain't got no choice but to get brought to your knees." That's why I was like, "Yeah, I'm glad I be obedient. I'm glad I listen. Okay, I'm a good servant of the Lord. I ain't got time because some of these people gonna be brought to their knees, and they be lucky they make it out alive." Because he tests everybody's faith. He want to see, are you a true believer or you just capping? To some people, they be capping. They just be like, oh, I believe in God, this, that, and the third. Mommy. And they just be putting on the show. I'm not putting on the show. I'm so serious. I'm like so honest right now. Like I didn't get this far on my journey to turn back now. Okay, hold on. Watch Elmo. I ain't get this far now to turn back. You too loud. She excited, y'all. Mm-mm-mm-mm. So you heard it here first. I heard you, boo boo. Please give me a second. As I said, I'm still recovering though. It's still like it's just a little pain, you know. But he was telling me that too when I was going through. Like he was like, "You gonna feel the pain. You gonna feel like the last little bit of residue of the pain." But it wasn't to break you. It was just to only make you stronger. That's why I'm like, I know I'm Tom Ford, Bill Ford tough, cause baby, I was in here like going through. Didn't nobody know nothing. They wouldn't even know if I would have passed away. God, like, you ain't passing away, girl. Be quiet. Like, he just keeps saying that to me. He like, you ain't going nowhere. Be quiet. You keep telling me some you going somewhere. You ain't going nowhere. I'm just trying to build you stronger in the spirit. So you can show everybody else that they can be stronger through their judgment. Because everybody has a judgment. It's just, you got to get yours, whether you going to get yours now or later. Nobody's safe. I've been saying that for the longest. Even when I was doing tarot, nobody's safe. Because even Oh, see, like even when I stretch and go like this, I can still feel it all in my ribs. Ooh, y'all. I'm telling you. So, yeah, I'm about to start making this breakfast for my baby. Just make sure you guys are like staying on track. Do the right thing, man. If God is asking you to do something, please do it. Because it's to save you, man. Okay? Because not everybody wants to be saved. And you can't force it either. Can't force nobody to save themselves or to change their ways or to become better. Because God didn't make two people the same. Like He made you in the way of His image. And not everybody makes it. It's like real life weak spirits out here. There's not that many strong spirits out here. That's why He says only the strongest survive. I'm lucky to survive. I'm glad I survived. Like I ain't lucky, but I'm just blessed and highly favored. Like that's it. That's all. Cause I know I know I don't do wicked, malicious, vindictive stuff to people. What the hell? Didn't it look like something flew out my nose? Ain't nothing fly out my nose, y'all. When I get in the shower, I cleanse all that out. My nose, my face, my head. So ain't nothing fly out my nose. Cause it looked like it, didn't it? Like starting to fly out my nose. But hmm, that's how I know my judgment wasn't gonna be as bad as it was. It was just I knew that I had to still pay for my sins that I had committed when I known better. If you knew better, you would do better. Well, if you know better now. So just continue to do better and do right. Continue to do right by people. And I think it's even the most godly of people, we still go through judgment because it's something that we did that we sinned against God that wasn't in His will. Like He don't pass judgment on nobody. Everybody gets judgment. So it's best to just do the right thing. Everybody that be stealing and taking from people and doing stuff like He sees that. So you can't be mad when you're still suffering because you're stealing now. Instead of you taking heed to the word, you rather just steal it, or you rather just try to make it seem like you got the message. Like you still gotta pay for that. Like it's still you still gotta pay for that. That's why it's like I would never steal and take nothing from nobody and then put it as like God told me this. Nah, if God ain't tell you that, that's not what He told you. Now you lying on God. Now you gotta pay for that too because you keep lying on God. Hmm? Stop. Because it's an experience. If you ain't experienced it and you're still not going through the experiences that God wants you to go through, you just don't need to talk about it or you just don't need to say it. Because God will send you through that same experience that person went through. But it might be a little bit different. That's what I said, it's different strokes for different folks. People might look at me and be like, oh, I never go through that. Oh, I don't never say never, baby. Don't never say never. Because what he put me through might be 10 times worse for you. He might put you through the ring of fire where the you really, really, really gotta like see him and you're like sleeping or passed out state of like dying almost in order to know that he's real because everything is different. Look at people's testimonies of them saying they died and seeing Jesus. It's true. As I said, it's not my first encounter. Like the first encounter, I was dealing with Shorty, and she was with me at my folks' house, and I seen God. And this time, she was like, "Such and such is dead." She said my nickname. She was like, "Such and such dead." When I woke up, I was like, "Did you say I was dead or something like that?" She was like, "Huh?" That's how I knew that was real. That's how I said, "It's not my first time going through this." It's just he got different stories for everybody to know and see that he could use you as a vessel. to let people know that he is real. As I say, it's best to get your judgment down because when he comes back for the rapture and get everybody, all his children, you better be lucky to know what side you're on. As I said, don't never say never. Some people say, I never go through this or I never go through that. Oh, it can never be me. It can never. Yeah, you don't know that. You don't know that. That could have been me yesterday and it could be you today. You get what I'm saying? Like, you don't know. So it's best to just do right. Stay on your P's and Q's. Because I started doing right and I had to go through judgment. Because like I said, he don't pass judgment on nobody. It's just, are you taking heed to why he's sending you through that judgment? If you can sit and say why, then cool. Do you know what it was all for? For the sins you committed when you were supposed to be doing things the right way. So I think I'm gonna just stop this message right here, you guys. I'm gonna get back on live later. I love you guys so very much, man. Continue to stay prayed up and stay blessed. All right, do the right thing, please, everybody. Now you can choose to do whatever you want to. That's on you. That's on you. I can't force you and make you do nothing you don't want to do, but I know who will. We all do. Okay, and that's the man above. So I love you guys so very much. Continue to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and hit that bell notification.